Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Body Language Show. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here this morning. My name is Wayne Turetsky, and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here at 3 Key Elements. And I am so excited that you guys are here with us this morning for this. Ann Washburn loves doing body language shows. We love helping people see how what's going on inside of them comes out through this nonverbal communication and talks to the rest of the world and tells them messages that we may not be consciously aware of. So that you're talking to everybody as you just walk down the street. Even if you're just smiling and waving at them, you're talking to those people. And so we're so glad you're here with us this morning. We also want to acknowledge any veterans that have been part of our lives. So will you please give a big round of applause for all the veterans that are in our lives? I have the pleasure of introducing Ann Washburn. She is the trainer for this body language show this morning. She's a member of the National Speakers Association. She's been on television, she's been on radio, and she does corporate trainings all over the United States. She travels around for 3 Key Elements and visits with companies and does in-house trainings for the companies. She also teaches the Building a Mind of Steel class and does the frying pan here at 3 Key Elements as well. So please give a big round of applause for our trainer mentor, Ann Washburn.
Awesome, thank you, Wayne. All right, so if I stand down here, am I too close? We have people here that are in the room. We also have people who are watching us online today. So I'm really excited about this because we've got it on our website, so this can be broadcast other places. So I have a question. How many of you have been to a body language class or a Master Your Influence before? Raise your hands. Okay, just a few of you. How many of you would like to learn more about body language? Okay, good. I was hoping there'd be more hands on that one. Excellent. Well, this morning, does everybody have, except for me, one of these handouts? Can I have a handout? That would be awesome. One of these handouts, can I borrow yours? One that looks like this. Show me yours so I see it. Okay, awesome. This right here, if you open it up, there's another flyer that's on the inside, and you can separate them like this right here. Thank you. They go like this. Now, this one that was on the inside right here, on the back of this handout, you can see a little bit about this company, 3 Key Elements. When you drove up today, you could see the sign on the front of the building. That's a picture right there of the front of the building. 3 Key Elements is an education company. It was started about 7 years ago in the Duncan's garage, and this is a picture of the Duncans. Now, if you fast forward to the year 2015, we are a multi-million-dollar Inc. 500 award-winning company. And the reason is because we utilize in-house exactly the same skills and things that I'm going to teach you today. These are the reasons we've been able to grow so quickly. So this one right here you can put down. That's for reference that you can look at later. And this part, the outside right here, this is the one I want you to look at now. On the back, here's a little bit about me. See, that's me. We match. So there's me, and in the middle, here is a list of some of the places that we have done training, some of the places. But the part that I want you to look at right now is the front. On the front, on the bottom right here, I have written some information for you. And I'm going to draw it right here as a pie chart. When it comes to communication, in communication, only approximately 7% of our communication is the words that we speak. The actual words is only about 7%. 36% is the tone of those words. I mean, have you ever gotten in trouble for your tone of voice? Yeah, because the tone gives more meaning than just the words do. But this other piece right here, what's the third voice of communication? Your body language, your gestures or your body language. And so when you don't know what message you're sending with your body language, and it doesn't match the words you speak, which one is going to be louder? I can't hear you. Body language. The body language, your body language will be a louder piece of your communication. And the thing is, that's interesting, is this applies even over the phone. Even over the phone where you can't hear people. Okay, you too can train. Where you can't see people, your body language will have a bigger effect on the tone of your words. And so when I train people who talk on the phone a lot, I teach them that the way you are sitting, the way you are holding your body language when you're on the phone, it will come across in the tone of your words on the telephone. So the body language is a bigger piece of communication even when people can't see you. Even when they can't see you. So this is why it is powerful to understand your body language, understand your communication. Because in our world today, have you noticed that information travels instantly? Oh, you can find out any information you want so quickly. I was helping my son with his homework last night, and it brought back memories because he is in 7th grade, and we were doing math homework. And there was this one part of math that always confused me. Some of you probably know it. It's the greatest common factor, least common multiple. Does that bring back memories for anybody else? These were the kind of memories I had. It was those kind of memories because I always confused the two. So I still couldn't remember which was which. But luckily, all I had to do was open my laptop, type it into Google, and I instantly was reminded how to do it. Information travels very quickly. I pull my phone up every single morning and I check the weather report. I check the weather report in Utah, I check the weather report in Honduras, and I check the weather report in Serbia. Every single morning. Because my oldest 2 children, one's in Honduras right now and one's in Serbia. And so I want to know what their weather report is just as much as I want to know what my weather report is here. And my phone tells me every single day. But the fact of the matter is, if all we needed was information to accomplish our goals, we all would have already accomplished every goal we set. But let's just think about this. Did you guys know that in about 7 weeks, it won't be the year 2015 anymore? Did anybody figure that out? I mean, we could put it down to days. We are at the tail end of 2015. And what happens in January usually? What happens? New Year's resolutions. We set goals. Now the question is, are you going to just pull out last year's goals and try again because you didn't do very good at it this year? Or are you going to set brand new goals? But either way, we have things in our life that we would like to see go to a new level. Is that true? Yes. And the thing is, if all we needed was information, we would instantly be able to know we could achieve those goals. But the fact of the matter is, communication is a bigger piece of the puzzle, a bigger piece of the equation than the information itself. So you are very wise to be here today. You are very wise to be here to get shortcuts to understanding how you can improve your communication. Because when communication increases, when communication improves, results improve. So let me say that one more time. When communication improves, results improve. So now you guys say it with me. When communication improves, results improve. So this is why it is so valuable for you to come here and spend some time with me and learn the same things that I have learned about improving my communication. In fact, while you're here, if you open this up, now for me, to make it really useful, I like to reverse fold it and just fold it down the middle like this so that I can look at both sides. Part 1 in your handout right here is a reference guide for you. I have, when I've taught body language classes, I took notice of what people were writing down the most, and I wrote down it. I wrote down it. I can talk. I wrote it down right here for you so you could reference it. What this is this is a reference of what the main messages are that you send with different parts of your body. Because different areas of your body send different messages. And so this one we're going to refer to a few times while we're here. Parts number 2 and part 3, those are fill in the blank. But I'm a really nice teacher. I will give you all of the answers. And if you miss one, you can cheat off your neighbor. Good? Awesome. Now, one of the most important pieces that I'm going to teach you while you're here is this stick figure part right here. This little stick figure, I'm going to teach you where in your brain your body language is coming from and why your body language will often say a different message than the words that you speak. Because if you understand where that's coming from, what you will have in your hand is an upgrade button for the software that you run inside of your brain. Because just like our computer has an operating system, our brains also have an operating system. And so when we understand how to upgrade the operating system, now we improve all the results in our life. Who would like an upgrade? Oh, I like that. I like that when you make sound when you raise your hand. That's really awesome. So those are the pieces that I want to cover with you while we're here today. Are you in?
Yes.
Yeah, you want to learn those things?
Yes.
Oh man, you guys are smart people. That is awesome. So before I delve into the depths of this cool body language stuff, do you want to know how I became a body language expert?
Yes.
Oh, that's a fun story. So here's the thing. I have been working with 3 key elements. November is my anniversary, so I've been with the company for 5 years. And in that 5 years, I have done 2,112 presentations. 2,112. I really thought maybe I should do one less, so it could be 2,111 for 11/11 today. That would be fun. I've done 2,112 presentations. I love what I do. I love traveling all over and sharing with people shortcuts on how to improve their communication. On Saturday, I will be flying to California to train a large group of people there and teach them skills on body language. And tomorrow, as Wayne mentioned, we'll be having the frying pan class. I love to teach. I love to train. Another thing that I get to do is I get to mentor people. So I'll mentor people either one-on-one or in small groups. And when I mentor people, I love getting to give them skills that show them how to get past the things that are between them and the goals that they're trying to achieve. Because when you know how to get past these things that are blocking you, you achieve your goals faster. And I'm all about being able to have positive, high-quality shortcuts. Because you guys have all taken a non-high-quality shortcut before, right? No, not that kind. Positive, high-quality shortcuts. So those are the things I love to teach people. I've been doing it for 5 years. Before I had this coolest job on the planet, I used to build flight simulators. I built multi-million-dollar flight simulators. And my first job out of college, I worked in explosives. So that's the career path to body language expert. Explosives, flight simulation, body language expert. Now, come on. When I was in high school, don't you think they just handed me that paper and said, if you want to be a body language expert, go into explosives? No. It didn't work that way. But here's what happened. Because back when I was in high school, anybody been there? Anybody want to go back? It's like, no, I escaped finally, please. My son, he is a senior this year. He would like to quit right now. He doesn't want to have to finish all the way through high school either. Well, when I was in high school, I tried really hard to communicate with the people. But let's face it. Interacting with high school, we think that it's the real world, but it's kind of a strange place. And I tried to interact with the people there, and I didn't feel like the effort I put out matched the results that I got back. So I came up with a plan. And my plan involved, I was going to leave high school, walk over to the nearest college, and ask if they would take me instead. So I did. I walked out of the high school one day, actually drove. I drove up to the nearest college, went into the registration office, and I said, can I please just come to college? And the guy looks at my my papers, and he says, sure, you can come to college. And I was like, oh, that was easier than I thought. Awesome, I'm home free now. And he said, but you have to tell me what you're going to major in. I'm like, major in? I didn't even know you were going to let me come to college. Now you want me to know what I want to be when I grow up? Oh, okay, let me think fast here. Let's see, if I'm coming to college, what's most important to me? the boys. So I looked at the guy and I said, what classes do you have with no girls in them? And the guy looks at me like this. And I'm like, yeah, if I'm coming to college early, I don't want competition. So he says, all right. Opens up his book and he says, how about you be an engineer? And I looked at him and I said, no, I do not want to drive a train. And he goes, in our program, there are no trains and there are very few girls. And I said, cool, sign me up. So I went through school in mechanical engineering, and it was true, there were not very many girls. I know, because I was elected Woman of the Year for the department. Yeah, if you think about that one for a second. But I don't tell my kids that part. I just tell them I was elected Woman of the Year for the department. And so I went through college in mechanical engineering. When I graduated, I married an engineer. It was part of the plan. So I married this engineer. Now we have 4 boys. Actually, they're getting really tall, somewhere in there. And 1 daughter. But I still couldn't communicate with people. In fact, I didn't have to. As an engineer, I could hide in my cubicle. I didn't have to talk to anybody. Anybody here ever talked to an engineer? Anybody here is an engineer? Okay. So here's the thing. I could just stay in that cubicle. I didn't have to talk to anybody. As long as I was getting my work done, life was great. Until the kids got old enough to go to school. Now the kids would go to school, and I would have to go to their school and interact with other parents. Because I live 10 miles from everything where I live. And so if you want to play with other kids, you have to go get them. You can't just walk there because there's this big highway. So now I had to interact with other parents because my kids wanted to play with their kids. I had to interact with the teachers. And what I found was most of the people were mean. People were just mean. I was always getting in trouble. I would get in arguments with people. And I'd come home and I'd ask my husband, how come everybody on this planet is so mean? And he said, Ann, you do not want that answer. And I'm like, fine, you're mean too. But it got to where my kids would come home from school and they'd say, Mom, there's an activity at school. Can Dad come? And I'm like, you don't want Mom to come? Oh, I'm sure you have something else to do. But if Dad could come, that'd be awesome. And I'm like, So I got to where I would just send the kids to school, and I would hide inside the house. I wouldn't answer the door. I wouldn't answer the phone, because if I did, then I had to interact with people. And no matter how hard I tried, I kept getting negative results. So this is the place I was at in my life just 5 years ago. Just 5 years ago. And where one day, my husband comes home, and he finds me hiding on the couch under a blanket. I'm trying to avoid the world. And he comes up and he lifts up the blanket on the couch and he goes, guess what, Ann? I've signed you up for a class. Do you think I wanted to go to a class? No. So I closed the blanket and told him to go away. Very nicely. Go away. And he lifted up the blanket and said, Ann, the class is about communication and body language. It's called Master Your Influence. Go to the class. Ugh. I said, fine. Body language, huh? Watch me as I go to your class. I sat in the very back, and I thought really loud, go ahead, try and teach me something. Because I know it's not me, it's everybody else on the planet that needs to change. There's nothing I can do different. But as I sat there in that class, I became very clear on a point, which is this. When my words and my body language send conflicting messages, people are going to discount what I say to believe what they see. Let me say that one more time. People will discount what you say to believe what they see. Because when they don't match, their brain is trying to make sense out of what they see. And so they will discount those words. And I thought, are you serious? I can change the results I'm getting by changing the messages I send out. Because listen to this, you guys. I'm teaching you a principle here. Your body language sends out messages to people. Your body language sends out messages so that they know how to treat you. And so whatever messages you send out, people will treat you according to those messages, and you keep repeating the same results over and over and over and over and over again. And so I thought, really? I can change my results by changing the messages I send out. I thought, okay, I can figure this out. I can try a different message. So I went home and I tried adjusting my body language. But here's where the real problem came in, because I immediately, how fast? Immediately. I immediately got different results. So this is where the stubborn really kicked in. Because who here's stubborn? Here, go ahead and admit it. Yeah, you that wouldn't raise your hand, you're the real stubborn people in the room. But the stubborn in me kicked in, and I thought, are you serious? If body language makes this big of a difference in communication, how come we aren't taught about it in school? How come we don't have huge classes in understanding communication? How many body language classes have you been given? You're like, one, I'm here today, right? Okay, you could all say one now. So how many body language classes have you been to? 1. Yes! 1, 2. Good job, because you came before. Okay. Good job. The what does?
The bullying, the anti-bullying that you teach children. They teach them how to stand.
The anti-bullying, but how many kids get that?
All the ones in my school did.
Awesome, because I have taught tens of thousands of people and have never had anybody tell me they got any body language training. And we need it. We absolutely need it. So this is where I chose to change my career. I went from doing cool things like blowing things up and then building flight simulators so we didn't have to blow things up, to the scariest thing on the planet, which is standing up in front of people. You can Google it. It's always in the top several of the biggest fears on the planet, is standing in front of people. Because my mission now is to teach people body language so that they have the skills they need right in their hand to choose their results. Because when you improve your communication, what else improves? Your results. So we improve our communication, we improve our results. So that's why we're here. That's why we're here today. Because I chose that I wanted to give people the skills, the same skills that took me from where I was to where I let's just face it, I had really bad results. Really bad in every area of my life. Because if you think about it, communication is what it takes to build a relationship. And where do we have relationships in our life? Everywhere. So throw out some places. Work, home, family, church, community, doctor, at the restaurant where you order food. How about, do you have relationships with your car? Do you have a relationship with your bank account? Yes. Do you have a relationship with food that you eat? Yes. Absolutely. We have relationships with everything. Even our clothes that we wear, even our closet where we store the clothes, everything in our life we have a relationship with. And so in order to improve relationships, we improve communication. And when communication improves, what else improves? Okay, so you hear all of those? Relationships, communication, and results are all linked. They are all linked together. So when you learn more about communication, it's going to improve the relationships and the results. Okay, so let's just hear it. How many of you would like to improve relationships and results? Okay, I got to hear that better. How many want to improve relationships and results? Awesome, because if you can't tell, I like to play. And the reason I like to play is because I know how your brain works. And in our world, those of us who have ever been to elementary school were taught in ways that we didn't understand that we shouldn't play, that playing and learning didn't go together. Because I walked into my kids' elementary school at the beginning of this year, and I watched the body language. And on the first couple of days of school, the most common body language I saw was this. Sit down, be quiet, don't touch your neighbor. Okay, it's not recess. Whole bunches of this body language. How long do you think you guys will enjoy this class if I stand up here like this the whole time?
Not much.
What does it feel like? Pushing down, suppression. And it's true, the kids need to learn to be quiet so they can hear what they're being taught. It does not mean that we can't enjoy learning. So one of the things that I'm going to ask you today, in order to learn body language, you're going to have to get out of past ways of doing things, which means getting out of your comfort zone. So we're going to get out of our comfort zone because that is where growth happens. Growth happens at the edge of our comfort zone. So today, I'm going to ask you to be willing to get out of that comfort zone. Notice how quiet it got in the room when I asked you that? Everybody's like, no, what's she going to ask me to do? Don't worry, it will be semi-painless. Hey, it's the holidays. We've got 2016 right around the corner. We cannot any longer afford to take lollygagging steps towards improving our results. So today I'm going to ask you to be out of your comfort zone. But actually, it will still be legal, moral, and ethical, so you will survive. So play with me for a minute. Everybody, fold your arms. Fold your arms. Now look down and see which arm is on top. You got it? Okay, unfold your arms. Fold them back with the other arm on top. Okay, some of you are like, arms, do not do that. Okay, how does it feel having your other arm on top? Different, weird, awkward. Is it out of your comfort zone? Yeah. Awesome. So the thing is, what I'm wanting you to feel is that getting out of your comfort zone can be as simple as doing something different in your body language than what you are used to doing. So I will ask you a little while later to fold your arms again. But what I'll be doing is giving you a choice. Are you going to fold them back the way you've always done it? Or are you going to choose to do it differently? Choose to do it differently. So it'll be your choice. You can watch yourself. Half of you are going to fold it the old way and then go, oh, dang it, I was going to do it the new way. The other half will be going, okay, which one was it? Yay, I did it. Woohoo! What's the word?
Woohoo!
What's the word?
Woohoo!
Exactly, woohoo! Okay, so you can unfold your arms now because I don't want a whole class of people going like this the whole time. But the thing I want you to feel there is that uncomfortable does not mean strange. It does not mean that you're doing something crazy and so embarrassing that you can't handle it. Because our brains are programmed with programs about embarrassment. We've been trained as we've grown up in school. Don't give an answer. Don't guess an answer if you don't for sure know the right one. Because if I give a wrong answer, people will see me as all of those things that just went through your head. Because I know that humans, because humans are who I usually train. Just seeing if I have humans here. Okay, so humans are who I usually train, which means I understand how your brain is working. So I'm going to push on your buttons just a little bit today, but I want you to know we can play. We can have fun. But play means, it doesn't mean disrespect. In fact, respect is very important in a body language class. But what it does mean is the level at which you are willing to participate. When I say, everybody play with me, if you're willing to do it, when I ask questions, if you're willing to guess when you don't know the answer, your brain will actually retain more of the information. You'll actually take more of this out of the room with you, the more you're willing to participate and play. So that's why I bring that up very first. Because I know I talk to a lot of humans, and what I see is people being like, okay, I'm here to learn, but did you notice there's somebody sitting on both sides of me who can actually touch me if they just bump their elbow a little bit? Or maybe our bum cheeks are touching. It's like, these people are in my comfort zone. Yeah, strategically so. Because we want to do something different. If you love your results, if you don't want a single result in your life to be different, please do not use anything I tell you today. Please push it all out the window and do not use any of it. Because the definition of insanity, as Einstein said, is doing the same thing over and over, but expecting a different result. But the way Anne says it is this. Another definition of insanity is doing things differently and expecting everything to remain the same. So if you go and you adjust, do not expect your results to stay the way they were. Expect that your results will improve. Because when communication improves, results improve. Exactly. So today we are all about improving relationships and results. And the way we're going to do it is by what comes in the middle, which is communication. Communication. Are you in?
Yes.
Good. Because you just got to know the way my life was before is completely different than the way my life is now. Every relationship in my life has improved. Every single one of them. And I'll tell you, there are more relationships in your life than you ever thought about. If I had you on a piece of paper write down every relationship in your life, now that I've primed your brain that there's more than just human relationships, there would be pages and pages of relationships that we have. And so just know, you improve your communication, now all of those relationships improve. So my life went from where my kids didn't want to tell people who their mom was, to now my kids are excited to tell people who their mom is. To where now in my life, I choose my results and I know how to get them. I choose a goal, I achieve a goal. And I just have to tell you this. In February this year, I spoke at a place where they had asked me to come to a fireside on marriage relationships. And I spoke at this marriage relationships class, and my husband was in the audience. And it was the week of our anniversary. So I stood up at the front and I said, this week I have been married for 23 years. And my husband, without missing a beat, said, yeah, and 4 of them have been good. It's not that the first 19 were terrible. It's just that the 4 years since have been so amazing in comparison that it is worth noting the difference. So if you love everything exactly the way it is, please do not change anything. But if you have relationships or results in your life that you want to change, then please take notes and be willing to use what you learned today. Good?
Yes.
Question?
I just wondered if I could ask you a question. You said that you viewed everybody as being really mean. Were you just not communicating? Is that what you kind of determined?
Would you use the microphone, because then the people online can also hear.
You asked a question saying that you viewed everyone in your world as being mean. Did you have that perspective because you weren't communicating?
I had that perspective because of the results I was getting. What I didn't know was that I had the power to change the results by the messages I was sending out. So through the class today, you'll get the answer to that question. Okay. It'll make sense. What was your name? Shauna. Shauna, big round of applause for Shauna. Awesome. Okay, so in order to have volunteers, because did you know I was going to ask for volunteers? Nobody's breathing. Interesting. In order to have a place where people feel safe to be a volunteer, we're going to have to set up 3 rules for our class, because rules provide safety. Rules provide safety. So our rules are going to be this. Rule number 1 is high levels of respect. High level of what? Respect. So please tell the person on both sides of you, I will respect you till lunchtime. I will respect you till lunchtime. After that, you're out of my jurisdiction. But till lunchtime, high levels of respect. High levels of respect. Rule number 2, this one we have been talking about. This one is stay present. Stay present. Be willing to play. When I ask you a question and you don't know the answer, guess. The little voices in your head are going to go, no, don't guess. You guys know you have little voices in your head, right? Yeah. We all do. 100 years ago, if you admitted that, they'd put you in rooms that were padded. But nowadays, people understand there is not every voice in my head is not mine. And if I'm not qualifying what I'm listening to, I can be letting other things run my life than what is in my own best interest. And one of the negative comments that you'll hear inside of your own head is this one that comes from elementary school, where you guessed an answer and you thought you knew it, and the whole class laughed when you got it wrong. Did anybody go through that? Did we all go to the same school? Okay, so because we have that kind of experience, we have that kind of negative comment. So be willing to stay present. Be willing to play. And when I ask for a volunteer, your reaction should be this: pick me! Let's practice. What should your reaction be? Pick me! Excellent! Some of you are like, heavens, are you crazy? If I raise my hand, she might actually pick me. Don't worry, the ones who don't raise their hands will be choose-a-tears instead of volunteers. Okay, so let's practice again. I need a volunteer. Okay, there was a little less confidence on that. It was like, wait, she actually said she needed a volunteer. If I say it, does that, I'm pushing those little voices again. I'm going to push those buttons. All right, ready? I need a volunteer. I love it, because already you're getting out of your comfort zone. You're getting out of your comfort zone because none of you, before you came here today, would have said, oh, when she asks for volunteers, I'm going to raise my hand and say, pick me. Not one of you thought that on the way here, did you? So now we're already pushing you out of your comfort zone. You guys at home online, I would suggest you understand I can see right through cameras. So when I'm asking for volunteers, even though you can't be the volunteer up here, I would suggest you do the pick me and push you out of your comfort zone too. But only if you're a little bit crazy and want new results. Because if you don't want a new result, please do not do anything different. Did you get that? Yes. Okay, excellent. So rule number 2 is stay present. Stay present. And rule number 3, manage your communication device. That means make sure your cell phone is on silent. It also means manage this communication device, but the opposite of what you think, because in elementary school we're told to sit down, be quiet, and don't touch your neighbor. Well, now we are at body language class as an adult, and I have actually set you so close to each other that you'll bump into each other's space. Here, elbow the person next to you and say, are you enjoying my space? She's like, hey, I got my space right here. And not only that, when I ask you a question, I'm going to ask you to guess, say an answer out loud, even if you don't know. Because it's highly likely that some of the questions I ask you won't know the answer to. What was that? Yes, good job. So that's what we're going to do. Manage those communication devices. When you have a question, there's a voice in your head that'll say, nobody else wants the answer to this. This is just me. I if you have the question, other people will too. It doesn't mean we just blurt questions out. Please save the questions for question time, otherwise we'll be here till midnight, which could be fun. But do write it down so that you remember the question. And if you don't get an answer to it before question time, then be willing to ask it. So manage your communication device. So rule number 1, rule number 2, and rule number 3. Okay, so everybody who will abide by these, please raise your hands so I can make sure, leave them up so I can see who's going to be the first volunteer. All right, excellent, excellent. We have an agreement. So now we have set up an atmosphere that is conducive to learning. I've been teaching you all along. Have you been noticing I'm teaching you things? But I'm also setting up an environment where we're safe to learn new things. So, let me check. I'm going to need 4 volunteers. Fascinating. Fascinating. Okay, this is very painless, but I'm going to need 2 females and 2 male volunteers so you guys can learn some body language. I would like it to be people who have not been to a body language class or master your influence before. Okay, so who would like to be a volunteer? Okay, let's revert back. Remember the rules were we were going to play. Part of being present is playing. So who would like to be a volunteer? Awesome. I like this. I raised my hand because she said I had to, but I'm going to pull it back down and hope she doesn't see me. Would you like to be one of my volunteers? What's your name?
Jenny.
Jenny. Everybody say, you can do it, Jenny.
You can do it, Jenny.
Okay, and then I saw some hands over here. Who raised their hands over here? Okay, what's your name?
Sarah.
Sarah, would you come be a volunteer as well? Everybody say, you can do it, Sarah.
You can do it, Sarah.
So Sarah, you're over here on this side, and I need 2 guys. I need 2 guys as well. All right, so let's go with you right here. What's your name? Steve. Steve. Everybody say,
You can do it, Steve.
you can do it, Steve. And what's your name right here?
Jeff.
Jeff. Everybody say,
You can do it, Jeff.
you can do it, Jeff. Okay, so you guys get up on the stage for me so everybody can see you. So I have Jeff, Steve, Sarah, and Jenny. Sarah and Jenny, Jeff and Steve. All right, so here are some volunteers. These guys are going to help us see different parts of body language because here we are jumping into a world that we all use all day long, but we have no conscious understanding of it. We have very little conscious understanding. So in order to simplify it down, because I love the concept of if you're going to eat an elephant, you got to do it 1 bite at a time. If you try to eat the whole elephant at once, it causes problems going down. Did you notice that? Actually, I had no idea what elephant tastes like, but it's a really good concept. So in order to break this down to a beginning chunk, what I want to do is say I want to classify body language in 2 parts. There are strong messages that we send out. Now, I don't mean loud messages, I mean strong. There are messages that we send out that say, I feel strong. I feel confident. I feel power in me. Not like domineering, but strong. Does that make sense? And then the other one then, the opposite of strong would be weak. Now, weak doesn't mean quiet. It doesn't mean it, or what it does mean is I'm sending out a message that I don't feel confident. The opposite of the strong. I send a weak message. So what these guys are going to do for us is I want you guys to throw me out some ideas that you have, because here's what's fascinating. Unlike learning something brand new that you have no concept of, like, I don't know, when we're in school, for me it was quantum physics. It's like, seriously? How? What? Unlike that, body language is something you've been utilizing all the time. And so your subconscious has ideas about it. So there's more that you know than you realize. So we're going to start with what would be something in body language that sends out a weak message? Frowning. Okay, let's start with frowning. No smiling. Everybody frown. That's my favorite because you tell somebody to frown and all they want to do is smile. Okay, so you guys hold the frowns and then they're going to give us another piece and we're going to build on them. Does that make sense? Okay, so weight on one leg. Put your weight on one leg. Okay, so I have 2 girls and 2 boys up here so that you can see there's differences in the way people do it. Okay, excellent. All right, what else sends a weak message? Okay, so shoulders slouched. Whoa, does that look weaker yet?
Yeah.
One of you, good job. Does that look weaker? Yes. Yeah, it looks weaker already. Okay, what else sends a weak message? Okay, avoiding eye contact, good. Looking down. What else? Yeah, okay, so hands. Let's talk about those for a second. Hiding them somewhere or clasping them in front of you. So if they're behind you where they can't be seen, in your pockets, or closed in front of you, or arms folded, all of those, good. Now look, they all did something different. But all of those send a weaker message.
No, I thought hers meant,
Hers.
hers are on there say, if they're in front, that means that she's comfortable, right?
Actually, if hands are closed, which means they are touching in any form, it's called a gate. And when you close a gate, you are keeping things out or keeping you in. So any way that you form a gate in front of you actually sends a weaker message. So excellent. Way to bring that up. So all of these things send weak messages. If you were a manager or an owner of a company who was looking for somebody to hire, are these the people you would want to hire? Okay, why?
They don't look confident.
Okay, so you want somebody who's confident to work in your business. Why else?
They look shifty to me.
Oh, they look shifty or trustworthy. Okay, so a weak message sends a lower level of trust, a lower level of confidence. Excellent.
They also don't have confidence.
Okay, so they don't look like they have confidence. Excellent.
They don't look like they're capable.
Okay, so confidence, capable, trust are all messages. Don't worry, we're starting with the weak so we can go back to the confident. Okay, so you guys are all picking up on messages that are being sent by these different body language messages. So let's undo it. Now you guys don't move until I tell you, okay? Just freeze and don't smile. Good. Okay, so what would send a stronger message?
Shoulders back.
Okay, so raise your shoulders. Put your shoulders up. No, keep everything else the same. Okay, but I did that on purpose. I want you to notice. If you improve one piece of body language, what wants to happen to other pieces? They want to follow. Okay? That's an important piece for you to recognize today. When you improve one piece of body language, other pieces want to follow. You don't have to consciously be paying attention to every single piece. Because what I've noticed is people will come to a body language class and they're like, how will I ever remember all of this? Well, guess what? You don't have to know every single piece to make an improvement. Okay, so shoulders up. Already, it sends a different message out. It's not as weak. But is it strong yet? No, it's not strong yet. So what else would improve the strength of their message? Eye contact. Okay, but don't smile when you make eye contact. Hey, no smiling down there. I know, it's so fun. You guys, reverse psychology works on teenagers too, just so you know. Okay, so what else would send a stronger message? Okay, so stand with your weight on both legs. Because posture sends a different message. Are they looking stronger?
Yes.
Can we improve it more?
Yes.
Okay, what else? Smile. Phew. Did you see that? They were like, oh. Yeah, because here we have improved all these other messages. Their subconscious is going, no, I must smile. The corners of my mouth have got to show this other message. And did you notice 2 of them took a breath when we let them smile? It was like, oh, phew. Okay, what else? Hands. Neutral position for hands is actually right here next to the body. This is actually neutral position. Notice I did not say to do this. That would be weird if you never move your hands. How would I know this? Because when I first learned body language, I knew not what to do with my hands, only what not to do. So I went out. I remember I was like, I have no idea what to do with my hands, so I'm going to keep them right here. And I was walking around, and I was actually teaching somebody about body language, and they go, is that good body language? Yes. Because I have no clue what to do with my hands. Okay, use your hands, but put them away. Use your gestures kindly, and then put them away. Put your hands away. So hands next to the body in a relaxed way, okay? Because this looks like you're about to jump on somebody. So in a relaxed way, so just relaxed. I know, because it's like, but wait, my hands don't know how to do this. Okay, relaxed. Because here's the thing, okay? If you go out, when I first learned this, I thought there is no way. People never put their hands down to their side. Yeah, go watch a movie. Don't you love it when you get homework like that? Go watch a movie. The people who are not the main character in the scene, if they aren't doing anything, if they aren't holding a weapon or something, their hands will actually be down to their sides, like this. This is where they put their hands. And our brain does not go, oh, that looks stupid. They're putting their hands on their side. That's not what we do. Instead, it sends the message, I'm confident and open. I don't have a need to protect myself by closing the gate in front of me or hide my hands because I'm not sure of what's going on. And so when we put our hands down to our side, it actually sends the message that I feel safe. I feel safe. We don't think about that a lot, but a lot of what goes on. Okay, think about this. Our body from shoulders to pelvis is the protected area of our body. We've got the ribs that go around the heart and the lungs because we're trying to keep things safe. We've got this big pelvic bone that's keeping our internal organs here safe. We're trying to protect ourselves. Well, because of that, and then we have the big skull thing around our brain, we've got things we want to keep safe. Well, our body language now also tries to keep us safe. So, I forgot your name. So, like Shauna brought up, one of the things that I was doing that I didn't understand, when I went out to interact with people, I didn't feel safe around people. I had been raised in an environment that taught me, because I understand I'm an oldest child of 2 youngest children who were raised in abusive situations. They didn't know how to be the best parents. I count my parents as my heroes because they didn't visit on their kids the same things they grew up in. However, I was the guinea pig. They didn't know what they were doing. So they made a few mistakes on me. And one of the things that I learned was this whole idea that people are out to get me. That was kind of the story that I was given as a child. People are out to get me. And so my body language was always protective. I would fold my arms because it made me feel safer around people. Because now I have a block between me and other people. So now here's a deeper piece I want you to understand. The message that we send and the message people are getting are not always the same. I was folding my arms because it made me feel safer. But the message that was going out out to people was one of defensiveness. It was one of confrontation. And so when people got this message of confrontation, they would respond to it and treat me in a confrontational way. In other words, okay, this is going really deep. Were we good? Okay. In other words, what was going on was this. I had in my past results that showed people are mean to me. I responded by protecting myself. The message went out, Anne is looking for confrontation. I would get a new confrontation, and it would repeat the result. Should I repeat that? I had in my past results that showed people were confrontational. I protected myself with my body language. This sent out a message to people that I was expecting confrontation. They would then respond, I would get confrontation, and the result would continue. Okay, I've never said it that black and white in a class before. But you know what? Things move faster on this planet now. Have you noticed things speeding up?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yesterday went like that. I was like, seriously? Where's yesterday? I want yesterday still. Nope, it's time for today. And we're already at 10 o'clock in the morning. I mean, the last hour went like that.
Yeah.
And so in our world, we've got to speed things up, even if it comes to our way that we're learning things. So this right here, what I'm showing you, these stronger messages that are going out, this one right here, the hands next to our side, is the one that people fight the most. They fight it because they're like, that looks stupid. But they don't mean it looks stupid. They mean it feels stupid. It feels stupid. It doesn't look stupid. It actually looks really confident. You guys see how much more our words were confident, capable, and trustworthy. So now going back, if you guys are business owners or managers who want to hire somebody, smiles, guys, are these people that you would want to hire?
Yes.
Do they look more confident than the other group?
Yes.
Do they look more capable?
Yes.
Do they look more trustworthy?
Yes.
They look all of those things. So when we are wanting to send a message, we have the power to do it without ever opening our mouth. Question?
I was going to say, I would probably, if I wasn't being
Will you grab the microphone right here?
if I wasn't speaking to anyone, I would tend to put my hands in my pocket at first, and then if somebody talks to me, I'd take them out and use my hands. But I wouldn't feel uncomfortable or feel like I wasn't in power by putting my hands in my pocket at first.
You wouldn't feel it at first, but the message being sent out would be different. So what I'm teaching you is I'm wanting you to know the message that people are getting from you. Because when I look out in the world on what is being taught on body language, the thing that I'm noticing the most is people want to know what to read in other people. How do I tell if somebody else is lying? How do I tell if somebody else is doing this? You can learn all of that. I can teach you that. But the real power of body language is understanding the message you're sending out, being able to adjust it to the message you're trying to send out, and then get the results that you're looking for. That's the real power. So that's what we're going to learn right now is the messages we're sending out. Does that make sense?
I'm going to have to work on that. Thanks.
What's your name?
Dix.
Dix?
Yeah.
Everybody, big round of applause for Dix. Okay, so right here, microphone right here, please.
I wanted
Would
to
you please
say-
stand up?
Yes.
Thank you. And what's your name?
My name is Boris.
Boyce?
Boris.
Boris.
Yes.
Excellent.
I just wanted to say that when you stand confidently with your shoulders back and your chest forward, putting hands into your pockets is not very comfortable.
Exactly. Very good point. Big round of applause for Boris. So hang on one second. So let me go with what Boris just said for a minute. There was a study that was done at Harvard Business Review. Harvard Business School, they do the Harvard Business Review magazine. At Harvard Business School, they did a study. And what they wanted to do was see if there was any scientific proof that changing your posture would actually change anything else about you. So what they did is they love doing studies there because they have lots of guinea pigs. They're called freshmen. So they brought the students in and they said, what we're going to do is study you during a job interview. And they said, okay. So they were giving them a job interview, a pretend job interview. And what they did is they had each of them, as part of this test, they had to spit into a test tube because they wanted to measure from your saliva, they can measure the hormone balance in your brain. Your saliva is directly proportional and responsive to what's going on in your brain. So they had them all do a spit test. Then they took half of the participants and asked them for 2 minutes to hold a weak body language pose. So go back to weak. They had to hold this weak body language pose for 2 minutes, only 2 minutes. And then at the end of the 2 minutes, the researcher came and got them to take them to the job interview. But before they got to the job interview, they had to spit in a test tube again. Because part of what they were studying is they wanted to see if the chemicals changed inside of the participant from the body language pose. Then the other half of the participants had to, for 2 minutes, hold a power pose, is what they called it. So go to strong, and then one step above strong is what I call superhero pose. So show me a superhero pose. Awesome. Okay, so there you go. Pick one. Interesting, I didn't get any of these. Usually I get a Spider-Man. Okay, but they had to hold a power pose, a superhero type pose. Notice how the corners of their mouth go up more with the superhero pose. Now they held this one for 2 minutes. And then at the end of the 2 minutes, they were given this test tube and they were sent into the job interview. What they found was all the people who held the weak body language pose, their confidence hormones went down and their anxiety hormones went up. And all the people who held the powerful pose, their confidence hormones went up and their anxiety hormones went down. Everybody who held a pose affected their brains. They affected their brains and the chemicals there by the body language pose that they held. And so you guys have been up here about 1 minute holding it, and already I see a difference in your micro expressions in your face. It changes because there are body language that we have power directly over, and then there is other body language, the micro expressions in our face, that we don't actually have conscious control over. And so we can change our results by changing our body language. All right, give them a big round of applause for superhero poses. Awesome. Okay, so now you can just go back to strong, okay? Stay at strong. So this is why I'm teaching you this from the very beginning, is I want you to understand the message you send out is what has the true power over the results that you're getting. So I loved how you said that, Boris, that when I really have my shoulders up and the way I like to put it is shoulders up and chin just above level. Because we tend to shrink a little on the outside compared to what we think we're doing on the inside. So I tell people chin just above level, and they'll usually bring it down right to level. But what I don't want to see is below level. So put your chin just above level and your shoulders back. It isn't as comfortable now to put your hands in your pocket. But even if you do, the message is different because you are adjusting to those stronger things. So thank you for bringing that up, Boris. That was awesome. Okay, right here.
My name's Lynette.
Lynette, will you grab that microphone?
Hi,
Thank you.
I'm Lynette, and I was noticing that I liked the smiles where their teeth showed, and I thought that their eyes seemed a little maybe brighter or more friendly or something when their teeth were showing, and I just wondered if you had any comments on that, or if it was just my opinion.
I love it. Big round of applause for Lynette. So humans are unique in the animal kingdom that showing teeth is a good thing. When you see an animal's teeth, it's kind of frightening. It's like, rawr, rawr. I know this because when I was growing up, I had a cat, and my cat's name was Persia, spelled P-U-R-R, Persia. I thought it was clever. I came up with it when I was like 3. But anyway, Persia was our cat. Now, when I was in junior high, we got a puppy. And this puppy thought the cat was its mom. And so it tried to do everything the cat did. And I thought it was the cutest thing because this puppy kept trying to purr. It kept trying to meow. It kept trying to make the sounds that the cat would make. And so it was so cute because the dog would go, meow, meow, meow. And then and so it was so cute that it was trying to mimic. And so then it keyed in on the humans, and it would try to smile. And so the dog was going like this all the time. And I was like, that's a scary dog. But humans, we actually like it when we see people's teeth. Because like you brought up, Lynette, when we have a real smile, it actually changes the corners of our eyes. Have you ever seen somebody who smiles and their eyes don't smile with it? Have you ever seen that? Yeah, it isn't the same. So when you smile and you use your teeth, it helps the eyes smile with it better. So you're absolutely right, Lynette. You're absolutely right. Good job. Okay, big round of applause for Lynette's question. Okay, so hold your other questions for a little bit. We got to learn some more pieces here. You guys, you've only learned one piece, and already you like see things differently. Tell the person next to you, you must be really smart.
You must be really smart.
Here, tell the one on the other side.
You must be really smart.
Tell the one on the other side, I think I'm smarter than you. Tell him. No, you tell him. Okay. Now notice what it does to the room. Now everybody is smiling more. So you guys can look at this at a deeper level, but I purposely have interactions in the room that are causing you to get out of your comfort zone and increase the strength of your body language message. Now everybody got self-conscious and they're like, wait, I'm not going to do anything she says until I figure out why next time. It's okay. It's all legal, moral, and ethical. Okay, so these guys have been good volunteers, yes? Yes. So can I give you guys presents? Do you guys like presents? I didn't hear anybody agree to that. All right, Okay, so here are the presents I'm going to give out. Okay, so I'm picking them for the people that need them here. All right, so this one right here for you is called Don't Dump Your Cup. This CD is about how to receive what's coming to you. At the holiday season, do people like to give more or receive more? Give. There are a few people who would rather receive than give, but they are very few and far between. Most people would rather feel more comfortable giving than receiving. I know this because I watch people's body language. And if you give somebody a compliment, do you know what the most common body language response to a compliment is? Thank you. Seriously. Here, will you hold that stack for me for a second? If I give somebody a compliment, the most common response I see is thank you. and they throw it away, even though they said thank you. Or I'll see people, and I describe it on the CD, I'll see people, they'll like brush it off their legs. Oh, thank you. And they suddenly need to brush their legs off really bad for some reason. Like, are you serious? But my favorite one was one time I gave somebody a compliment, and they went, oh, thank you. It's like, what? It's a disgusting booger. You got to get rid of it. But very rarely do people receive a compliment that comes to them. They'll shake it off their shoulders. They'll brush it off. They'll throw it away. They'll flick it away. But none of those let the compliment come in. Because for some reason we have this programming inside of us that says, if I receive a compliment, then they'll think I'm stuck up. When you give somebody a compliment and they refuse the compliment, how does that feel? Awful. Do you feel better about yourself or worse? Worse. But wait a minute, they pushed it away because they thought they would look bad. But you wanted them to receive it. You actually will lift both people better. Because our tendency is, oh, if I look stuck up, I'll put myself above this person if I receive the compliment. The reality is, if you receive a compliment, you let yourself be raised, and it raises the giver of the compliment. You actually raise both parties. So when somebody gives you a compliment, I would suggest instead you say, thank you, and receive the compliment. Here, practice with me. Thank you, and let it go in your heart. Let it be received so that both people can be raised. So this one is for you. Will you receive it? Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so this one's for you. No, Sarah. Okay, Steve. This one's right here is called Perfection is a Direction, Not a Destination. In our world, there are more than one kind of perfectionist. There are at least, on this CD I describe at least 4 different kinds of perfectionists. And some people don't think they're a perfectionist because they don't fall into the standard version of perfectionist where they try to do everything perfectly. But what about the version of perfectionist where we're in comparison and we compare ourselves to other people? If there on this CD, there's 2 more other versions of perfectionism besides the standard and the comparison. And when you understand those, it helps you make progress in your life faster. So will you receive that?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. But there's a trick. Okay. If you take the shrink wrap off, it works better.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Okay, Steve, this one's for you. This one's called Building a Mind of Steel. This is how to, it's estimated that we have between 60 and 80,000 thoughts in a day. I can't even count that high, but we have that many thoughts. And 48,000 out of 65,000 thoughts will be negative. 72% of our thoughts on average in a given day are negative against ourselves. And so we don't need somebody else to stop us from reaching our goals. We're too busy beating ourselves up inside of our own head. So this is how to reduce the negative comments and increase the positive comments. So that's for you. Will you listen to it?
Absolutely.
Awesome, awesome. And this one's for you, Vision Board, how to get the left and the right side of your brain working together towards achieving your goals. This is a very powerful mentoring principle. Will you receive it?
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, give all these volunteers a big round of applause. Thanks. Thank you very much. Awesome. Don't worry, we'll have more volunteers. But first, what I'd like to do is give you the answers to your fill in the blanks. Does anybody need a pen? Does anybody need a pen? We grab some pens? Okay, they're going to grab some pens, and then, yes. All right, awesome. Thank you for watching out for him. Okay, she's grabbing some pens. So everybody that needs one, raise your hands so we can get them to you. Awesome. And so what I would like to do is I'm going to read 2 of the blanks, and when you have them filled in, say, got it, and I'll know it's time to go on. Got it? Got it. Awesome. Anybody else need a pen? Did everybody get one that needed one? Right there? Excellent, thank you. Reading body language is a skill to find answers and solutions. Answers and solutions. And then those few stubborn that are like, I'm not going to say got it. To begin reading body language, I must remove judgment and see movements as indicators. When I see movement, the next step is to ask good questions. Ask good questions. Ask good questions. What kind of questions do we ask? Good questions. So the reason I bring this up is if you guys all run out of here and you stop the next person you see on the street and you say, I was reading your body language and I saw this, how do you think that'll go? Not very good. So if I see somebody standing like this, what should I do? Ask a question. Is this a good question? Why are you so closed? All right, so we have to understand the difference between good questions and ungood questions. That's a word, I made it up. So good questions build rapport and increase connection. Ungood questions push people away and break that connection. And so we have to be careful when we're seeing body language that we don't judge that the person is the way that we think they are based on one piece of body language. Does that make sense? I've been reading body language for 5 years now. And when I first started learning body language, what I did was this. I picked one piece of body language and I would watch it for days at a time, just one piece. I remember I would pick one finger and I would watch for how, I would pick like their pointer finger and I would watch for how they interacted with that pointer finger. Because if you noticed, when people were up here, when they didn't think I was watching them, their fingers would move. And what fingers they were rubbing tells different stories. Each of your fingers sends a different message. So I would watch a finger, or I would just watch for people's shoulders. Are their shoulders down or are their shoulders up? I would watch their shoulders. And then what I would do is I would listen to their conversation right next to what I saw. So if I saw somebody's shoulders down, I would listen to their conversation. And they were usually talking about how hard things were, how tired they were. Here, play with me for a minute, because you guys have heard of gravity, yeah? Okay, what does gravity do really well? Pulls us down. Gravity loves to pull down on shoulders. It's called the afternoon slump. Have you heard of that? Okay, so everybody let gravity pull down on your shoulders and pull your chin down. Now, what does that feel like inside of you? Tired, squished, heavy, sad, give up, depressing. Okay, so now everybody lift your shoulders up and put your chin just above level. And most of you took a deep breath when you did that. Okay, what does that feel like? Relief, fun, hope, invigorating, exciting, awake, ready. All of these different messages, and all we changed was the way our shoulders were. So I would watch people's shoulders, and I would pay attention to what they said. If I saw, oh, geez. Okay, okay, can I go a deep level for a second? Yes. 4 of you, great. So here's the thing. If I saw a body language move and I couldn't hear anything, they were too far away, I couldn't hear them, or it wasn't a time I could ask them a question, then I would go home and I would do the move to see what I felt like when I did it. Because body language and the message in your head are directly linked. Directly linked. So let me explain. Inside your head, you have a conscious and a subconscious, true? Which one handles more information? How much more? 90. Hey, guess. Come on. Guess. 400. I didn't hear any guesses from you guys. Come on, guess. 6 billion. 6 billion. Excellent. What you're talking about is the active conscious part of your brain. And so that's actually even a little bit less. People can only do they can only do 1 to 2 things really well. We say 7 plus or minus 2, but if you want to be good at it, not so much.
It's about
Multitasking. But the more we multitask, the less good we are at each thing we're multitasking. So you're absolutely right. This piece is just how much can your conscious mind process? Your conscious mind can process approximately 20 to 40 pieces of information. It can process them. You don't use them. Okay, Boris, come here. Ooh, it got really quiet. They're like, oh no. Because he said, choose it here. All right, so stand right here. Okay, so what I would like you to do is this. I would like you to rub your tummy. Okay, now pat your head.
Back? No. Not working very well.
There you go. Okay, now march.
At the same time?
Yeah. Not bad. There's 1, 2, 3. Now I should give him a piece of gum. Can you also chew gum? Okay, so what I would like you to do is I would like you to tell me what you ate for breakfast while doing this.
Protein shake.
Small breakfast. And after the protein shake?
Coffee.
And then what'd you do next?
Took a shower, dressed up, got into the car and came here.
Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different things going on at the same time. If I start adding more,
Yeah, I will probably stop doing that.
okay, but here's the thing. While he's doing these things, his conscious mind is processing information. So first of all, he's processing his memory because he's remembering what he did this morning. He's like, okay, what did I do? What did I do? So if you watched, his eyes were moving to process the memory. Plus, his conscious mind was processing how to make all of the muscles do what they needed to do. Okay, stop.
Thank you.
Yes, give him a big round of applause. And so what I'm trying to show is there's different levels to what your brain can do. Because here's the thing to think about. While you were doing all of that, you know what else was going on? Breathing was happening. Digestion of the protein shake was happening. The cells were dividing. His fingernails were growing. All of these things were going on at the same time that you were doing all of this. Was your heart beating? Did you have to tell it to beat?
No.
Oh, phew, aren't you glad? There are some things that we can take conscious control over and other things that we can't. In fact, here, stay up front, there you go. So play with us for a second. Everybody hold your breath. Now, everybody tell your heart to stop beating. Okay, it didn't work, you can breathe again. So some things I can consciously take over, and then they will go back to subconscious. Does that make sense? Other things will stay subconscious control. It's the same with our body language. When I asked him to rub his belly and pat his head, he took conscious control over his muscles. But when he isn't consciously thinking about them, now his subconscious can use any muscle in his body to send a message out in the body language. Is that cool? All right. So Boris, thank you for being an awesome Choose-a-Tear. Here is your gift. Your gift is this. It's called Money Friends, How to Improve Your Relationship with Money.
I need more of those.
Would you like that? So that's for you. Awesome, thank you. Thanks for coming up. Okay, so our conscious mind can process approximately 40 pieces of information. The number that we can do, it's not very high. So Boris did 5 for us. We could probably gotten him up to 7. The next thing I was going to have him do was skip around the room while singing Mary Had a Little Lamb. That would have been fun, right? Where did I put my marker? Okay, so your subconscious, in the same amount of time that your conscious mind can process 40 pieces of information, your subconscious, which I'm including your unconscious mind here, processes all the cells in your body, all the nerve endings, all the muscle spasms, everything going on in your body. So approximately 40 million pieces of information are going through your subconscious every time your conscious processes 40. So 1,000,000 times more information is going through your subconscious, which means what? What does that mean? Well, what else do you have in your life that processes lots of information? Your computer. Your computer processes lots of information. Your computer will take large amounts of data, and then on the screen, it will give you usable pieces of information. So how does your computer take all of these random pieces of information and give you usable information? What does it do? What was that? Prioritize how? How does it know what to do?
When you put in what you want,
And how do we do that?
we send a signal or we
Okay, so what's going on is, you're absolutely on the right track. What goes on is all this information comes into the computer. It doesn't know what to do with the information until you put programs on the computer. Once you put an operating system, so I can have just this random piece of computer equipment here. And it can have all the best hardware in the world. Some in the room will say that's Apple, some in the world will say that's PC. At my house, there's a division. But until you put the operating system on the computer, you won't get any usable information out of that computer. None. It has to know what program you are looking for information from. So on my computer, I have a word processing document. I have a spreadsheet program. I have a word processing program and a spreadsheet program, a PowerPoint type program. I've got weather programs. I've got calculator programs. My kids have game programs. Whatever the information is that's going in, anything you want can come out if the program is there. Ooh, listen to what I'm saying, you guys. The information is all there. In order to get what I want, I have to have the correct program. The information is there. In order to get what I want, I need the correct program. I could just say that the rest of the class, and you guys would really get it. Because think about it. If my computer needs programs to give me information, your subconscious runs much the same way. In fact, science has found that the majority of the programs that are in our subconscious that manage all of this information that come in were put in our subconscious between the ages of birth and 11 years old. Birth and 11 years old. So now my question for you is this. Is every program on your computer good for you? No. Oh. So what do we put on our computer to protect ourselves from the programs that don't serve us? We put antivirus software. We put filters. We put spyware. We put an upgrade option. And so when an upgrade comes in, we can install the upgrade to our computer. Our subconscious is the same way. Our subconscious, when the information comes in, it runs it through programs. And then we have spyware and virus scans and upgrades. Or do we? Our computer does. Why would we treat our subconscious any differently? Or are the scans available and we just don't know how to use them? So our subconscious has all these programs that it's running information through. Most of them were put in my subconscious when I was little. Are every program in my subconscious good for me? Let's check. How many had parents? We all get a turn messing up our own kids. Trust me, I have 5 of them. And so we don't know how to give perfect information to our children. And we do pass on our programs. Our children will learn more. They will learn more from how we think and how we feel about ourselves than anything we ever tell them. So let me say that one more time. Our children will absorb and learn more from us about how we think and how we feel about ourselves than anything we ever tell them. That's how we're set up. Did I spit on you? Sorry. We absorb information. We absorb information from our surroundings. So that means, wait, Ann, are you just telling me I have programs from when I was 6 years old that are running my relationships as an adult? Yes, that's what I'm telling you. I might have a program from when I was 9 years old that's making decisions for my business as an adult. I might have a program from when I was 4 years old that's making my decisions in my marriage as an adult. Does that scare anybody but me? When I learned that, I responded this way. Ah! Here, do it. It's fun. Exactly. Oh, do it again. It's fun. You guys at home, do it too. Okay, do it together. Oh my gosh. How often do you come to a class and get to make that sound, right? But that's what's going on. I've got these programs, and they're running my results as an adult. And I wonder why I can't make changes. This is the coolest thing I can ever teach you about body language, is this right here. Your body language comes from your subconscious. We'll use red. It's Christmassy. It's almost Christmassy. I got my Christmas. Okay. Your subconscious has programs inside of it, lots of them. And your subconscious, so this is the answers to the fill in the blank for part number 3. One of the things that your subconscious does is when you are communicating with somebody, when you're talking to somebody, when you are interacting with somebody, your subconscious will prepare the words that you're going to speak before you speak them. Have you ever had like lots of words come into your head and you couldn't get all of them out of your mouth all at the same time and you wanted to? Yeah, your subconscious prepares more words than we can speak. In fact, on average, our subconscious will prepare approximately 650 words every minute for us to speak. Now, your subconscious chose these words based on the programs it's trying to run, based on the operating system that you have in your subconscious. It chose those words. The average human can only speak approximately 150 words. Some guys it's less, some girls it's more. But on average, we speak 150 words a minute. So that means these 650 words have to get filtered. There's a filter between your conscious and your subconscious. These 650 words have to go through the filter and get filtered down to 150. Now, we filter them based on who we're talking to, based on whether they're politically correct. Holy cow, politically correct is like taken on a whole new level recently. We like have to watch all our words, and people will choose how they're going to take them. Have you noticed that? And with the advent of social media, now it's just like, I don't want to hear people's words. Do you wish some people would filter their words better? That would be nice. But the problem is, we can only speak 150. So how many words got held back? 500. And where do those 500 words go? Body language. Because your subconscious says, look. Okay, let me teach you something about your subconscious really quick. Your subconscious does not care if a program is good for your results or bad for your results. Your subconscious has two prime directives. Your subconscious wants to keep you alive. That's why it doesn't let you have control over your heartbeat, because it doesn't want you to forget to make your heart beat. Your subconscious wants to keep you alive, and it wants to keep you comfortable, which means it wants to keep things familiar. As long as they're familiar, as long as a program in your subconscious didn't kill you the first time you ran it, and it's familiar, your subconscious is more than happy to run it. More than happy. It's thrilled, in fact. Woohoo! I can run a program that I know won't kill me, and it's familiar. And then your subconscious is happy. Happy. I'm making up words today. But the problem is this. What if that program is bad for the goal I'm going towards? So, subconscious doesn't care. Subconscious does not care. You have to, if you have the correct programs on your computer, you get the results you want. If you have the correct programs in your subconscious, you get the results you want. So what we need is an upgrade button. We need an ability to change the program in the subconscious and put in a new one. So your subconscious says, I need to defend the programs that are in this subconscious. I chose these 650 words so that when I send that message out, people will treat me in a way that I will maintain the results I've always had. And so I see you could only speak 150 of them. So let me help you out and send the rest of the message out in your body language. What's the response? Exactly. Yes, the result is the same results, but our response should be exactly. But instead, our response usually is, oh, I guess I'm just not meant to have things differently. Or, I guess this is a sign from God that I'm not supposed to have this goal. You ever heard that from people? Oh, my word. I can list for you the biggest chicken exits that people take. I mentor people enough to know what your chicken exits are. And one of the first chicken exits people will take is, I guess it's just not meant to be. I guess I'm just not meant to have this goal. And they quit. And I'm like, not on my watch. Because what we are here to figure out, the reason we have this physical body that keeps getting older every single day and then turns on us and doesn't do things as good today as it did yesterday, is so that we can figure out how to upgrade our own programming. Did I just say that out loud on our recording? Shoot. All right. Are you guys okay with this information? Because I'm dumping tons of information on you today. Who's been to one of my classes before? Are you learning more today? Yeah, warning, lots of information. Okay, so 650 words, 500 of them need to come out in your body language. So your subconscious says, here it comes, world. Woohoo! Here's the body language messages. Now you know what program I'm trying to run. Will you help me run it? And your subconscious says, sure, I'll help you run your program, and I will treat you according to what I just saw. Because there's two problems with this. One is, I just gave you power over your own results. And some people don't want that. Some people want to be able to blame and make excuses for why they don't have the results they want in their life. Some people do. And so they will not want to hear what I just taught them right here. But it doesn't make it any less reality. But it's also the good news. Because I just heard some of your brains going, but Ann, where's the good part? This is all negative. Here's the good news. Your subconscious sends messages out in your body language. If you catch the message and override it, you can send a new message back to your subconscious. And your subconscious will then check in and say, wait a minute, this isn't the same that we've always done. Are you sure you want something new? And if I answer yes, I do want something new, your subconscious goes, okay, yes, ma'am, sir. Yes, ma'am, sir. I will go update the programming, sir, ma'am. Go. That's what our subconscious does. It wants to upgrade if we tell it what we want to upgrade to. That's the good news. So for me, when I was back hiding on the couch under blankets and avoiding the phone and the door and all my responsibilities in my life, I noticed that when my kids came home from school, they were the most important thing in my life to me. So when they came home from school, I didn't want them to know I'd been hiding. So I jumped off the couch, I'd run to the door, and as they came in the house, I would say, kids, tell me about your day while I finish cooking dinner. What did my mouth say? What did my body language say? Why would I send a different message? Why? Okay, so wait. So keep going. What is my hand? What message? Where is my hand getting its message from? What program?
I have too much to do. I've got to go finish dinner. I don't have time for this right now.
I don't want a relationship.
Okay, so all of these are correct. What's going on is I'm on the couch. Have you ever heard the term, I have a lot on my plate? Now, how many of you have a lot on your plate? Okay, I don't see any of you with a plate. So it must be somewhere in your subconscious. So everybody get your plate out for a minute. Okay, what's on your plate? Thoughts, family, responsibilities, work, talents. So lots of things that we have to accomplish. What else is on my plate? How I feel about the responsibilities on my plate. Two main categories on your plate: your responsibilities and how you feel about those responsibilities. Which one do you think takes up more space on your plate? Feelings. The feelings, how you feel about what's on your plate takes up more space. So when I was here on the couch, I had given up all my responsibilities, as many as possible. I wasn't doing the dishes, I didn't shower, the laundry wasn't done, and yet I felt like my plate was full. My plate felt full. So when my kids came in the door, and I said, kids, tell me about your day. What is my body language responding to? That there's no room on the plate. So my body language is saying, Mom doesn't have any more room. There's no more room, so stay away from the plate. Stay away from the responsibilities. But consciously, I was like, all that matters to me is the kids. I want to feel good about the kids. Moms, can you relate to this? I want to feel good about the kids. But yet my subconscious was protecting the plate in my subconscious and pushing them out. So should I be surprised when the kids didn't want to talk to me? No, because the body language is the louder piece of the communication. So when I learned this, I was like, oh my gosh, are you serious? I keep pushing them away. So the next day, I didn't manage to not hide on the couch. I still hid on the couch. But this time when they came home from school, I jumped off the couch, and when they came in the door, I said, kids, tell me about your day. I overrided the program. And my subconscious went, Anne, that is not the program we're running. What are you doing? Change your hand. No! This is the message I want. And my subconscious went, okay. And it changed the message. And so now when I see my kids, instead of this, it's, yes, kids, I want those in my life. So the new program got put in, kids override plate. And I was like, yes, I approve this message. Does that make sense? So we can override the messages in our subconscious and create new programs. New programs. Okay, so I can't remember your name. Dix. Dix, will you come be a volunteer for a minute? Okay, Dix. Everybody say, you can do it, Dix. You can do it, Dix. Is that like D-I-X? D-I-X? Awesome. All right, come up here, Dix. Give him a big round of applause, please. Okay, so you're going to help me tell a story that illustrates this point. Okay. Would you do that? Sure. He's like, what's the story? I'll tell it. Okay, so you're going to stand here so they can look at you. And this story is about my second son. My second son is currently a senior in high school, but 4 years ago when he was in 8th grade, he had to go to 4 different junior highs in 1 year. 4 junior highs in 1 year. Anybody want to go back to junior high? I don't even want to visit there. Oh, what a place. So he had gone to his first day at his 4th junior high, and he comes home from school. So what I need from you is teenage boy body language.
I know everything, Dad.
Mom. Okay, no, go back. I want you to freeze in teenage boy body language. That's actually really good. I just need you to fold your arms, because my son had his arms folded. Okay?
That was tough.
He learns quick. Okay, so like this. So Ty, my son's name's Ty. So Ty comes home from school, 4th junior high, and he's got this body language stance. And I asked him a common question that parents ask teenagers. What do you think it was? Do you guys read the same parenting manuals I do? Yes, that's the exact question I asked him. How was your day? What is the usual response to that kind of a question? Good. Yeah, or, Yeah, something like that. So I expected, when I asked him this question, I expected the response to be, or fine, or good, or something like that. But this particular day, I asked him, how was your day? And instead of the one-word obligatory response, I got a whole question from him. A whole question. And when a kid asks a question, now they open themselves up to the answer. So when you have a teenager who asks you a question, yeah, you got to freeze in your teenage boy body language. Go back to wait on. Yeah, good. Remember all the weak pieces? That's pretty much teenage boy body language, right? Okay, just put your weight on that leg for me, though, so that I can stand here with you. So I asked Ty, I'm like, how was your day? And he goes, oh, Mom, tell me why the kids keep picking on me. And I'm like, yes, he asked a question. I can tell him an answer, and he'll be open to it. Because if we just try to pour information on a teenager, what do they do with it? They push it away. But if they ask a question, now they're more likely to receive the answer. Except for this question. Have you ever said, "Oh, what do you want me to do?" Okay, now that one, you got to pay attention to the tone. They're still going to push that answer away. But this one, he asked me, "Tell me why the kids keep picking on me." And I said, "Okay, I'll tell you." And he goes, "Is it body language?" And I'm like, "Well, yes, dear, it is." And so how would a teenager respond to that, do you think?
What?
Close. You don't have my teenager, apparently, because his response was this: body language? Ugh. And he left the room. I'm like, okay, I guess he wasn't ready yet. But he comes back the very next day, same stance. And this time he comes to me and he goes, "All right, fine, Mom, tell me." So how long do I have to talk to him?
30 seconds.
Yeah, 2 minutes. You guys don't have real teenagers. 20 seconds. 2 minutes would be awesome. That would be like birthday cake. That would be great. 2 minutes. No, 20 seconds. So I'm like, 20 seconds. I only have time to teach him one piece of body language. So remember from the week strong, what piece should I teach him to send out a different message to the people around him? Shoulders. Here, don't you just freeze in the teenage boy stance. Okay, so shoulders, his arms, his legs. No, just freeze. Just stay. His legs, his smile, his eye contact, his chin. Would any one of those pieces send a different message out to the people at school? Yes. Absolutely. So how do I pick which one? Most intimidating. Grr. Hey, some places when I go teach their sales team, I actually have to teach them weak, strong, and confrontational. I have to teach them what confrontational looks like so that they won't do it as much. Because I notice sometimes, because salespeople get beat down a lot. Have you noticed that? Because people have their own money issues when they come in, and whatever reason, salespeople take a beating. So they've got to know what they're doing to cause confrontational. So you're absolutely right. What was your name? Jennifer. Jennifer's absolutely right. So here's the thing I thought about, though. What message do I want to update in his subconscious? See, now I'm thinking like a mom, a body language expert mom. I'm like, wait a minute. Any one of these pieces will send a new message out to the kids at school. But what message do I want in his subconscious?
Confidence.
So look at part 1. Look at part 1 on your handout. You're absolutely right. So based on the new message I wanted in his subconscious, I chose legs. Because what message does legs send? Balance, support, and strength. So next to that, you can write foundation. Your legs send out a message about your foundation. And so if I taught him legs, it would send a new message out to the people, but thank you, but also a new message to his own subconscious. And besides that, I knew I could get his attention on legs. So I said, Ty, did you know that when you have your weight on one leg like this sends a message of weakness out to the people at school? And when kids see weakness, they behave like chickens. How do chickens behave when they see a weakness? How long do they peck at it? Till it dies. Do you know why? Chickens are programmed that if there's a sickness or an injury that comes into the flock, it could spread through the whole flock and kill the whole flock. So they will peck at a weakness until it's dead. Well, humans aren't very far evolved from chickens. And so when they see a weakness, they tend to want to peck at it. And so the problem is, when you send a message, when you have your weight on one leg, Ty, I'm telling him, if you stand like this in the hall or up in school, this sends the message that you're easily knocked off your balance. I can easily knock you over. So I told him, and besides that, Ty, when I said the word chicken, he like really grabbed onto that. Because when he was in 2nd grade, he was attacked by a chicken and spent a month in primary children's. So he was like, chickens, chickens, chickens. What do you mean chickens? I'm like, yes, got him. So I told him, I said, if you'll put your weight on both legs, now this sends the message. If you're in the hall at your locker or up in front of your class at school with weight on both legs, it sends the message that you're easily strong, not easily knocked off balance, that you're strong in your foundation. And so now the kids see that and they're like, oh, I only have 2 minutes till my next class. I better find another target, an easier target. So as Jennifer just brought up, if we put our feet farther than shoulder width apart, this will now send a confrontation message out to the kids at school. So here's the level I don't usually teach people. But I told him, because I taught this to him, but I don't usually tell it in this story. But since you did it, and Jennifer brought it up, let's go here. When people find out that they were weak in their balance, some people's tendency is to go further than shoulder width so that they have a really strong foundation. But that sends a message, just the feet wider than shoulder width, that they are expecting confrontation. So it would do the opposite. So I taught him this. I told him, I said, if you put them really wide, now people will see that as an invitation to confront each other, to clash. So I said, what you want instead, exactly. And I would know all about this because I caused lots of confrontation with people and I didn't know why. And so I told him, just put the feet shoulder width apart. That sends a neutral message. And so now this message goes out. I'm strong in my foundation. I have no need to compete with you. I'm just strong. So how do you think Ty responded to that one?
Positive.
Oh, if only he's a teenager. His response was, ugh, and he left the room. And I'm like, okay, we'll just see what happens. So now you and I got to trade jobs here. Okay, do you know how to do dishes?
No.
Okay, so do you know how to load a dishwasher? Okay, so pretend to load a dishwasher because you're going to play me for a minute. Okay, we're going to pretend the counter is here and the dishes are there. There you go. Awesome. Don't smile. I do not have fun loading the dishwasher. So now I'm going to be Ty. This particular day, it was about a week later, Ty comes into the kitchen, and when he sees me, he does this. Have you ever seen somebody do that? And I'm like, he has something to tell me. What's the fastest way to get him to leave the kitchen? Yeah, to turn and say, oh, hey, what do you have to tell me? Or come and help. That exactly. So instead, I just kept loading the dishwasher because I wanted to see what he had to say. So he comes up to the edge of the counter, and he pulls out a plate, and he's like watching me out of the corner of his eye. So I just keep doing dishes. I don't pay attention. You're like throwing the dishes away. Now I see why he said no. Okay, so Ty starts making a sandwich. But what was really funny was all of a sudden the plate moved down the counter and Ty moved down the counter. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. The dishwasher didn't move. So he keeps making the sandwich, and all of a sudden the plate moves and Ty moves. And I'm like, well, this should be good. And so he puts the last piece of bread on, cuts the sandwich in half, and all of a sudden, one more time, the plate moves and Ty moves. And I'm like, this is good. And he picks up the sandwich on the plate, and as he goes to turn, he bumps into me, and he goes, Mom, it works. And he runs out of the room. Okay, so you can stop doing dishes now. But the thing is, at the end of that school year, I asked Ty, I said, Ty, do you want to change schools again? And he's like, I have more friends and better results at this school than any of them I've been to. And the only thing I taught him was legs. I taught him between weak and strong and confrontational. Those 3 pieces. But it didn't just change the message he sent out. It also changed the message that was going back to his subconscious. And remember from the thing I taught you a few hours ago? When you change one piece of body language, it will adjust other pieces of your body language. And not only that, it changes the program in the subconscious. So this is a powerful piece because not just teenagers need this, adults need this. Because I learned about me is I spent a lot of time with my weight on one leg. I spent a lot of time with my arms folded. I spent a lot of time not making eye contact with people because I didn't understand the messages I was sending. And so when we upgrade something in our body language, we upgrade the message we send out, and so we upgrade our results. We upgrade those results. Okay, so Dix did a great job doing my dishes. Can you give him a big round of applause? Okay, so here is my gift for you. This is a CD about how to get out of our comfort zone more so we can grow faster.
Thank you.
So that's for you.
I need this.
Good. Big round of applause. Oh.
No, that's right.
Awesome. Okay, are you guys learning something? Yes. Okay, so let's open it up for a minute for questions. What questions do you have? Yes, right here. Will you please stand up? Bring the microphone over. Let's take 3 questions. Does anybody else have one? Okay, right here and then right back here.
So my name is Marla.
Hi, Marla.
Hello. If there's someone in your life that every time you communicate, they have body language that's very combative.
Can you hold the microphone? There you go.
You have
Thank
someone that has body language that's very combative. Can you kind of alter that and help them if your body language is open to them?
Absolutely. Did you want a longer answer?
Yes.
Okay, so what was your name again? Marla. Big round of applause for Marla's question. So when we see the reason I teach salespeople about confrontational body language is subconsciously, in order to, let's put it this way, we have a survival instinct. You guys know that, right? Makes most of us not jump out of airplanes and off of tall buildings and things like that. We don't do that because we have a survival instinct. Well, one thing that our survival instinct will do is our subconscious will pick up on other people's body language when it goes to a confrontational state, and we will match it. We will match it. So our tendency is when we see confrontation, we go to confrontation. That's why I would send out that message, even though I thought it was protective, they would match it, and I would get the message from them, confrontation. If instead you notice they're going to confrontation and you purposely stay at neutral, their subconscious will that's the word, de-escalate and want to come back down.
So are they combative because
Am I giving off being combative? Is that why I sense it from them first?
It doesn't matter where it came first. No, hold on to it. It doesn't matter where it came first. It matters the first person who doesn't match it. So let's just use an easy one, because this is an open position for hands. What would be confrontational?
Have them up, or I don't know.
Fists. Fists is a common one because we don't think people are looking at our hands. But people actually notice hands really fast, even when they're down here. That's why people, I'm going 1201 on you. This is why people will put them behind their back, because they don't want people to see their hands. They recognize that people will look at them. So neutral will go here, confrontational will be they'll make a fist. This is just simple explanation. Go to a fist. So then if you're sensing me go to confrontational and now your hands go to fists, now it builds and they'll go to wide stance and it'll build more. And boys do it faster than girls, but girls don't escalate any less than boys. Boys just do it in their body language faster. So what you do is when you see this and you catch yourself going there, you tell your hands, no, I'm going to be open. And so since you're the first person to not match or not escalate, now it not only calms you down, but will calm them down.
Okay, good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for asking. Big round of applause. And then, right here, okay. Can you get that other microphone right over here, please, to Steve?
Okay. Do you want me to stand up?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Chelsea, and I have two questions, but I think they're basically the same thing. I feel like my subconscious fights...
Are they level 1 or level 20?
Probably level 20.
So let me just ask, just because I know you,
Okay.
Is this a question for the whole room, or do you need to ask me it after?
I think one version of the question could be for the whole room.
Okay, then ask me that one.
How do I improve my communication and therefore my results with food?
Okay, talk to your food. Have you ever talked to your food?
No, because I hate my food.
Of course.
So-
Okay, so this is an important one for the whole room, so thank you for asking this. Anybody else want to hear the answer to this? Yes. Okay, awesome. Okay, because here's what's going on. We have a relationship with food. Even if it's bad, we have a relationship with it. And so if we don't try to improve it, so just like Marla's question, how do I help somebody else de-escalate, EX word, no, there's no X in that.
De-escalate.
Hey, you can so graduate from college and not know how to spell, okay? Just so you know. So just like Marla talked about the de-escalating, we have to be the first one to be the grown-up with our food and de-escalate. And so if I am going to hate my food, guess what I put in my body as I swallow the food? Hate. Hate. Whatever that emotion is that I smear all over that food before I eat it, that's what I put into my body. And so then my body, okay, this is definitely level 20, that what I now do to my body is I teach my body that I hate my body because I hate what I put in it. So you got to be the big girl. It's between you and the food. Which one's going to be the big girl?
Me.
It's going to have to be you. The food doesn't know how to be the big girl. And so the food has to hear from you love, emotions. Have you ever read Dr. Emoto's book on water?
No, but I've seen a number of videos about it.
Okay, so that counts as reading it, going and looking at it. So you guys, if you go look, there is research done by Dr. Emoto where they took water, they spoke mean to it, then they froze it and took pictures of the crystals, and it deformed the crystals. Or they took water, talked nice to it, froze it, took pictures, and the crystals were gorgeous. Well, you're made up of mostly water. Your food is made up of mostly water. If you put hate all over that and then put it in your body, it perpetuates a message. So you got to now talk nice to the food.
Okay.
Got to talk nice to it. Even though your relationship has been bad, it only takes one person to improve a relationship. One. So even if you have a hate relationship with another person on the planet, it only takes one person to improve it. And the way you're improving it is by you letting go of the negative, even if that other person isn't ready for it. It doesn't mean you have to run out and interact with them, but it means you have chosen to change and upgrade the relationship. So talk nice to what you put in your mouth. If you're going to put it in your mouth, smear love on it before you put it in your mouth.
Okay.
Kind of like I made my son toast yesterday. He goes, "Where's the butter? I can't eat toast without butter." Well, I can't eat food without love.
Okay.
Smear love on it.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
Excellent. Big round of applause for Chelsea. Will you give it to her right here? Will you give it to her right here? Yep, he has a microphone. Go ahead, Steve.
So mine's kind of a two-part question.
Right here. Did you still have a question? I do. Will you grab that one? Okay, go ahead.
And the first one is, how long does it take, or have you seen it take, for somebody to override the system to a point where it actually becomes their primary or second nature, to engage their body that way, reprogrammed?
Two answers to your question.
Okay.
Can I give you two?
Yeah, absolutely.
In
please.
order to reprogram, we have two ways to do it. Repetition. Nope, stay standing.
Oh, I am.
Okay. Repetition or intensity. Because have you ever noticed that if something intense happens to us, it's instantly a new program in our subconscious. And now we will never respond the old way again because it was so intense. Or by repetition. By repetition, we get to where we can do things over and over and over to where now it's a new program. The repetition is used often when we're learning a new skill. How many of you have a driver's license? How many of you remember your first day behind the wheel? I will never forget mine. Because I grew up in Idaho. I was 11. My mom pulled off to the side of the highway and said, "Can you reach the pedals?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Good, drive to Rigby while I read my book." I remember every inch of that highway. But now I can pull into my driveway and go, "How did I get here?" Because it's now a new program. I know exactly how to drive. I don't have to think about every little thing I do. It's really easy to notice because we got a new car. My old car had the cruise control on the right side of the steering wheel. My new car has the cruise control on the left side of the steering wheel. So my husband's constantly, "Why do I keep flashing my high beams when I try to set my cruise control?" I'm like, "Because of the program and you're so conscious." Right. So there's two ways to do it. I have seen it happen both ways. When you adjust, so just like my son, that whole story was in 1 week's time. Right. It does not have to take a long time. It doesn't have to. But we also can change by repeatedly sending a new message. Mm-hmm. So repetition or intensity, or both. Why not use both?
No, that's awesome, super helpful. And then my second one was actually what you just alluded to. It had to do with your son. Mm-hmm. You taught him one thing, but I'm supposing that because he had a result, and you might be able to tell us around this, that since he saw that one result, he started embodying those things that you were doing. So
we have to start somewhere. And so he started with his legs, got a different result, and then was like, "Hey, I can hold my shoulders up." Got a different result. And this kid now, holy cow, I watched him walk out of the house this morning. It's so not the same picture as 4 years ago. This kid is on the highest performing singing group in his high school, and his high school has one of the top music programs in the state of Utah. He is also a parkour instructor at a gym up in Ogden. This kid can do anything he puts his mind to. But listen to the words. Anything you put your mind to. But we have never known how to change our mind. And the way to change our mind is through our body language.
And so that goes back to the point that you were saying we teach more through our body and how we feel internally to our kids to program them than anything our words will ever do. Yep. And so that might be an embodied example of your son taking from what you taught him the one thing and then started like you did with, taking on different principles and applying them all by yourself in your own room.
Yep.
So I'm assuming he was doing the same thing.
It's not like he was going to let me watch him in his room, but
right.
But exactly.
Right.
Yeah. But I can tell. Okay, because this is what I know about you guys. Now, I wasn't in any of your bathrooms this morning, I promise. But this is what I know. The majority of us, when we wake up in the morning, we go in the bathroom, we flip on the light, and we go, ugh, 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 ugh. That's how we start our day. Remember the whole piece of our body language programs our chemicals? And yet that's how we program ourselves every morning. Because what would happen? What would happen if all of you, tomorrow, you wake up in the morning, you turn the light on in the bathroom, you look in the mirror, look yourself in the eye and go, hey, I am so glad you are in my mirror today. Let's go take on this day. Do you think you would respond differently to your day?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But yet, we shut ourselves down. We shut ourselves down. Our subconscious says, really? You want this kind of a day? And you go, yeah, I do. And we go out there and something happens and we go, never mind, I was kidding. I want this kind of day. We have a choice. Do you want this kind of a day or this kind of a day? Which one?
The happy one, obviously.
Really?
Yeah.
Enough
absolutely.
that you would look in the mirror in the morning, you'd actually look yourself in the eye and say, I like you.
Absolutely. So I think this plays into...
absolutely, and your body language is like, oh!
I need to loosen up, apparently. So, no, but I mean, I'm so super interested, if you guys can't tell at this point, because of the various aspects of what's going on here. A lot of people would call this voodoo or mind manipulation.
Usually it's called woo-woo.
Okay, we'll go with woo-woo, but between the two, I mean, we're either mind manipulating ourselves for the negative or the positive.
Yes. Wait. Say it again.
We're basically either manipulating our mind for the negative or for the positive.
Yes. Say it again.
We are basically manipulating our mind for either the negative or the positive.
So what do you choose?
The agencies to choose positive.
Wait, so what are you going to choose?
I'm going to choose positive.
Let me hear it louder.
I'm going to choose positive.
Oh, okay, come on.
I'm going to choose positive.
Okay, come here. They got really quiet.
Yeah, well.
Okay, stand up here.
Sorry, guys.
Don't apologize.
Okay. I'm not sorry.
Okay, so let's just check. How many of you, when he said, I'm not sorry, went, wow, he's more confident? Yeah. Okay, but in your mind, what did you think that they were going to think?
I wasn't really worried about it, honestly.
Okay, good. And that's why you were willing to say, I'm not sorry.
Right.
But the majority of people, here, you hold that for a minute.
Yep.
The majority of people are afraid that if they say they're not sorry, that somebody won't like them. Guess what? I have a revelation for you. Not everyone likes me. It's true. I speak in front of thousands of people. And the reason I can stand and speak and mess up words and make up words is because I'm okay if somebody doesn't like me. Because the majority of the people will still like me. And it isn't about that. It's about this. If I give in to the 1 or 2 or the 20 that don't like me, then the 2,000 that will like me won't hear the message. Thank you. So what Steve was just saying is so important. We either mind manipulate ourselves to the bad or to the good. And so what is it? What is this program that says, it's okay if I mind manipulate to the bad, I won't get in trouble for that. But if I mind manipulate to the good, then somebody will be mad at me. We gotta pick and choose and flick out those negative comments, like the bad boogers that they are. Those are the boogers we want to flick away. But the positive, we want to keep that. So what are you going to choose?
I'm going to choose the positive.
Okay. What are you going to choose?
The positive.
Oh, so close. Come on. What are you going to choose?
The positive. Are you guys excited? The positive. There you go.
Okay, so here was why I brought him up to the front. When I asked him, what are you going to choose? He went, positive. He went positive, like this. And he didn't let his hands, actually, they stayed right here to your side and just went like this. Almost as if he had a rope tied right here around his wrists and wasn't going to let him be bigger. And I'm like, I stand for freedom. I'm not going to stand here and watch while somebody lets the thoughts in their head keep them tied down. So I said, what are you going to choose? And he goes, positive, and got a little bit away. And I'm like, okay, come on, break free, break free. And so, here, will you hold that? So then I said, okay, what are you going to choose? And he got all the way to here, positive. And I was like, man, let's break free. Let's get out of this. And so that's when I brought him up here, because I'm like, I know you have it in you. And so just now when I asked him what he's going to choose, what'd he do?
Positive.
Okay, there was one in between. First he did this. He went, positive. And it was like, So what you see when you watch somebody's body language is you see the movie that's playing on the stage in their head. That's what you're watching. And so I'm like, not this. What you do is you do what?
You got to hold the pose.
You hold it. Because that...
Glory, basket it.
See? And then he went to the next level. Come on, bring it on. Okay, so hold it up for a second. Hold it up. So the next level over this would be to turn your hands this way so that you're not trying to carry what you're talking about, but you're managing it. Okay. So now that elbow straight too and up a little bit. There you go. So now this right here sends the message, you know what? I so own this. Let's hear it.
I so own this.
Okay? And so what's going on now is his subconscious is going, wait, old program being overridden. What do we do? What do we do? And you're going, no, I own this. What's the words?
I own this.
Give him a big round of applause. Where are you going? Okay, let's try it again. Let's try it again. Get arms up. And what's the words?
I own this.
Give him a big round of applause. Yes. Now he owns it. Now he owns it because he went through that last level. Thanks, I got a round of applause. I'll just walk away. Oh. Okay, now you can put him down. You did good.
I appreciate it.
Do you feel the difference?
I actually do, honestly.
So that's...
And I'm a pretty confident person normally, I thought. And so seeing levels within myself is pretty impressive.
Yeah. I loved it because you're absolutely right. When I watched you walk in, because you guys know I've been watching all of you, right?
I like it.
Now I'm scary. Rawr. When I watched you walk in, I knew you had a level, but you had more in you. That's what I could see. And that's the problem is we get to a level and our comfort zone just a little bit feels out. This feels out of our comfort zone. So we operate right here. But I could see in Steve that there was this level that he could break through to. And this is what I'm talking about in the morning when you go and look yourself in the eye in the mirror. Are you going to play it this level or this level? Or are you going to own it?
Own it. We're going to own it.
I think... So will you help me with one more thing?
Please.
I think they should play because this will be good. So what I want you to do is put your stuff down by your side. And what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you burst out of your seats. What's the word? Burst out of your seats. And you hold a superhero pose, however you want to hold it. And while you're holding the pose, I want you to say out loud the words, I am amazing. And then your subconscious is going to do just what Steve's did and go, no! And so you need to hold your superhero pose for 3 seconds after you get done saying, I am amazing. And I get to count to 3, not you. Because I can already see your subconscious is going, I'm going to count 1,000 Mississippi alligator. 2, 1,000 Mississippi alligator. 3 whole seconds, because that 3 seconds is the most important piece. That's where your subconscious is being willing to adopt the new program. The new program. Okay, so what are we going to do? Burst. And you're going to hold what? And while you hold it, you're going to say what? I am amazing. And then after that, you're going to hold it. How long?
3 seconds.
Until I say stop, stop, stop. That's what we're going to do. And you're going to lead the way.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
All right. So, everybody ready? Are you on the edge of your seats? Okay, so we're going to go 1, 2, 2.5. I wanted to see if you were really ready. All right, here we go. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Big round of applause for being amazing. Awesome. Give high five to somebody next to you and say, you are amazing. You are amazing. You are amazing. All right, give Steve one more round of applause. Thank you, Steve. Thank you. Thanks for coming up. Okay.
You bet.
Good job. Good job. Did you remember your question still? Okay.
I temporarily forgot it, but I think I remembered. My name is Sky, and my question was about how body language is received by different cultures. Is how we define, this as confidence, is that actually received as confidence by a different culture?
Okay, the majority, so excellent question. Big round of applause for Sky. The majority of our body language is similar from across cultures. In fact, it's easy. You go and there are actually places on the internet where they ask people to give, of different languages, please show me stop. And most people will go, what? They'll do this of some sort. Show me come. And what will most people do? Some form of this. Show me happy. Most people will do. There are a few cultural differences, but for what I'm teaching you here, don't need to worry about that piece yet. When we get there, then we can work on that. But for the majority of it, it's all going to program our subconscious in a similar way, so you're good. Does that help? Yeah. All right, excellent. Big round of applause for all those questions. All of those. Excellent. Okay, when you guys signed up, did this class end at 11:30 or at 12? 12:30. So my brain was ending at 12, I'm sorry. So let me just tell you one more piece here really quick, because this is powerful. When I left the Master Your Influence class that my husband signed me up for, I drove home, and as I was driving, I thought, you know what, I really want to send a new message to my kids. And I had only been through the first day, and I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do. And so as I pulled in the garage and walked in the house, all my kids were sitting in the family room. And I thought, oh, shoot, here's my chance. So I walked up to the door and I said, hi, everyone, I'm home. And the kids are looking at me like, huh? I'm like, no, I'm going to own this. I'm going to hold it. And all of a sudden, my 13-year-old ran across the room and hugged me. My kids were so hungry for me to be open to them that even though I felt completely silly in the doorway, it sent a different message. And they were willing to take me like this over the mom that had been pushing them away. And so be willing to try something that you learned today. Be willing to teach somebody else something that you learned. Because when you teach somebody, that's when you really own it. Try something new. Because remember, definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting it to be different. So now, be willing to try things differently. Try things differently. I need the drawing bowl. Can you go get it for me? I need the drawing bowl. Did you guys put your names in our drawing bowl? So I have some giveaways. Would anybody like giveaways? Awesome, I love it. So I have some CDs to give away, and then I also have some registrations to give away. Would anybody like registrations? All right, so let's see what we have here. Everybody got their name in here, yes? Okay, so what we have right here is all of your names. Now, who hopes that I pull their name out of here? Who hopes that I pull somebody else's name out of here? Oh, wait, why is it different? There are 2 registrations back there, 1 of each class. Cameron has them. Will you get those for me, Erin? Thank you. So this is the thing, one more piece of psychology for you to understand. If I want something for me, but I don't want it for somebody else, guess what the overall result of that is? The overall result is a less than positive experience. So when you want something, one very powerful thing when I mentor people, in fact, if you're crazy enough to get into my mentoring program, my group mentoring, I will push your buttons. I will push your buttons because I love you and because I want people to be able to move forward. Right, Michelle? Yes, I love for people to get to move forward. So if you're crazy enough to do that, come talk to me. It's the end of the year. I will give you a special deal to come be in my one that starts at the beginning of the year. But here's a psychology piece for you. When you want something for somebody else as bad as you want it for you, now you've changed a program in your subconscious, and you can draw things to you faster. So let me check again. How many of you want me to draw your name out of here? How many of you want me to draw somebody else's name? Excellent. That's what I'm talking about. So this first one right here, I have 2 more CDs here. I have a bucket list CD. This one is about how to get out of your comfort zone. And this one right here, don't dump your cup, how to receive what's coming to you. So this one right here, the bucket list, drum roll please. This one goes to Jolene Fincher. Awesome. And this one right here, don't dump your cup, another drum roll please. Jennifer Ducove. Oh, I think she was right there and she had to leave. Oh, okay. Have to be present. Again. Cher Christensen. Woohoo! Poor Cher Christensen. Woohoo! All right, so now what I would like to give away is a set of 4 CDs. Would anybody like all 4 of them? Yes. So this selection right here, Perfection is a Direction, Money Friends, Vision Board, and Building a Mind of Steel. This set altogether is a $74 value. $74 value. Who wants somebody else to get it? Who would like them to get it? Excellent. So this one is going to go to Dix Keller. So that means you can pay your... Oh, they're all different than the one you got. Look at that. You got a whole set now.
Should I pass them out to people?
Do you already have these?
No.
Then you should keep them.
All right, thank you.
But only if you're going to listen to them. Will you listen to them? All right. Excellent. So the handout that they just gave to you, the Master Your Influence handout, this is the class that my husband signed me up for. Please, have you learned something about body language today? Yes. Something you didn't know? Yes. Please learn more information about body language. It is a powerful, powerful thing. If you would like to learn more about body language and communication from us, The Master Your Influence class is a 3-day class. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The next one, and do we still have openings, November? No, the next one is actually November 19th through the 21st. What? Don't drop these kind of markers. Or February 25th through the 27th, or May 5th through the 7th. These are all 3 will be taught at the Salt Palace, downtown Salt Lake City. They're at the Salt Palace. There's 800 to 1,000 people that come to one of these classes. The Master Your Influence class on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Have you learned something in 2.5 hours? Yes. Imagine 24 hours of training. 24 hours of training is what you will get. And if you look in the lower left-hand side right here, you'll recognize and be trained to begin to understand body language, how to master your mind. In other words, we'll teach you about body language, but we will also give you mentoring principles to help with the reprogramming of the programs that are sending out the messages in the body language. We'll work with you on both of them. Receive mentoring tools that you can use immediately. This class completely transformed the way I work with my life, the way I interact with all the relationships that I have in my life. So this 3 days is a very powerful place to be. Our registration, our tuition for this class, up until just a few months ago, was $750. But we have decided our mission statement in this company is to empower the human family with the skills to free their mind, clear their heart, and create all they can envision. So because of that, we want as many people as possible to come get this information and go home and share it with their kids. Go home and use it. Have this information because it will up everybody. So just like I asked you to be happy for other people that win, be happy for you, the same as you would be happy for them. This is the same for this. We want this information in your hands. So if you choose to come to this class, I've seen other classes that are taught around the United States where they talk about goals and vision and things like that. They don't really go into the body language piece much like we do. But I saw one, it was a 2-day class, it was $1,800. $1,800. What's the tuition for ours? $227. $227. You will not find at any education institution 24 hours of training for $227. But I would like to give a registration away. That's a full tuition for our Master Your Influence class. Would you want to receive it? All right, excellent. Do you want somebody else to get to go? Okay, so just think in your mind, I really want it to be the person who needs this, to be the one who gets it, So this one will go to Lynette Eddington. There you are.
But I have loved ones that I can do.
So you take this out to the desk and you fill out a registration form, okay? And that's how you redeem that.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Big round of applause. Aw, I love you too. Thank you. Okay, so one more registration that I would like to give away here is a registration to our marriage relationships class. We have a marriage relationships class. The dates for this, they will have out at the front desk. But this tuition right here is for you and your spouse or your significant person in your life. This is for both of you because you'll learn more at this class if you come together. What's the word? Together. Come together. So would you like to win this? All right, so this one is going to go to David Christensen. Awesome. Congratulations, David. Okay, take that out to the front desk to fill it out for your registration, okay? Awesome. Okay, so for you, I have 2 offers for you, because you guys, you pulled more out of me than a class has in a long time. I went to some deeper levels in here. True? Yes. Yeah, good stuff. So I have 2 offers for you. One of them is this. Dix, will you hold up those 4 CDs that you just got? These 4 CDs, which are a $74 value, I would like to give these to the first 10 people who register for this class. Either you or another person. My husband signed me up for this class, so I understand that kind of thing. It's a $74 value, $74 value. So I would like to give those. I have 10 sets of them, 10 sets, and I would like to give those to the first 10 people who register. And the other offer I have for you is this. For you to register you, or for the other person that you would like to register, when you fill out the registration forms, which Quinn has right out here, and this applies for you guys online too. Online, we have set up a promo code for you so that you'll be able to also access this offer. So instead of $227, which is $227 a good offer for this class? Yes. Absolutely. But it's Christmas, almost. Should I say it's Thanksgiving? Okay, it's Thanksgiving, and I am so grateful for each and every one of you. And I'm grateful for what you pulled out of me today and what you're taking home with you. And so because of that, you or any person you would like to register, and you still get the 4 CDs, those first 10 people, you can register for $127. $127, you get $74 value CDs if you're one of the first 10. So if you want to be one of those first 10, you need to go out to Quinn, out at the desk, and so that you can be one of the people that gets those CDs along with your registration. When it comes to the holidays and it comes to a new year, the thing that stands between us the most often and what we want the most is the programs that we don't know how to access. So people who are willing to come and get information like you did today, you are very wise. You're very wise. And I honor you for everything you've done in your life to get to where you are at right now. Because everything that you have done, all the choices that you've made, and all the ones that I've done have brought us together on November 11th, 2015. So go make 2016 an amazing year. Come learn more information. Come better you, because you guys are awesome. Are there any questions about the registration process or this class? Are we good? Okay, I will be here for a few minutes after. Those of you who are online, you saw the directions for you to be able to access this offer. Please give yourselves a big round of applause for being here today.